Howdy! It is Wednesday. Got the Broken Radios by Stanley Gurvich. Oops, that's the wrong button. Turning down the volume. Hey, how you doing, everybody? It's Wednesday. It's Wednesday, January 27th. Hope you guys can hear me. Unfortunately, I guess somebody at Google, YouTube does not like vMix Social today, so we're not going to be able to run the chat through the stream here. So I'll just have to keep an eye on it from you guys on the sidelines here. Hello, Sean Williams. How are you doing? I'm going to pop that out. Why not? Just get it over here so I can actually see what the heck's going on here. Yeah, we'll put it over here next to the camera. That's a good idea. Yeah, let's do that. I think that will work. All right, so hey, what's going on? So I just called this titled this thing. I identify as Wednesday Addams. I watched the last animated Addams film from 2019. If you guys have been following a little bit, I took a little break last week. I headed up to the mountains, and they had a cabin, and they had Amazon, and I was like, oh, so I gotta find something to watch, and I saw the Addams Family movie from 2019. The animated cartoon, and it was pretty. I enjoyed it. I mean, it wasn't like the best Addams Family adaptation out there, but it was a cute movie, and I found myself really, really, really enjoying their interpretation of Wednesday Addams. It's kind of following the same line as Christina Ricci's performance in the two Addams Family movies, which are actually very good. Better movies than they ought to have been, for considering the fact that it was one of those 90s. Let's make a movie out of a TV show from the 60s, a.k.a. Brady Bunch, a.k.a. I Married a Genie? All those 60 rom-coms. They made a pretty decent movie out of it. And but I found the interpretation of Wednesday Addams to be fantastic. And I just love her character. I love the sarcastic. It's one of those weird things where she can walk into Wednesday Addams can walk into a school and be the unpopular kid and dominate the popular kid. The popular kid can be an absolute dick to everybody, but Wednesday Addams will just set them in their place just like that. She is so smart and so quick-witted. She's easily my favorite character of all the Addams Family, and I totally love her. So I actually ended up going deep into. I'm just reading some of your comments here. Talking about Christina Ricci and the first Addams Family movies. Yeah, it's worth checking it out, or at least going back and watching them. But so I was looking at like the history of the Addams Family because it's always interesting to look at this kind of cultural phenomenon we kind of take for granted today. We just think it's kind of an old fuddy TV show. It started off as a comics panel that ran in the New Yorker. These one panel comic strips that were just random printings throughout the years from 1938 all the way to when the inventor Charles Addams died. And originally the family had no names. They didn't have any names for the family at all. And it wasn't until the TV show that they actually had to come up with names for the family, and I think Gomez and Morticia were one of the first two that were picked. And Charles Addams had a friend that was kind of feeling depressed, so he asked her to name one of the kids, and the name that she came up with was Wednesday. And where Wednesday comes from is from the nursery rhyme that prophesies each child's temperament. It's like Monday's child would be super happy. Tuesday's child would be kind of weird. Wednesday's child was full of woe. So that's where Wednesday came from. And I think that's just fascinating. I love looking at like the history, because I think history. One thing about history that what I think people miss when they look at history is they forget to put themselves into the historical shoes. Like whenever I look at history, I always think in terms of like, what would I have done had I been alive during that time? And that's why I really enjoyed doing when I do the studios, like those videos. that take a horrendously amount of time to do. But I always think about, like, what was it like to live in the 1920s and live in the 1930s as a filmmaker back then, back when it was so, like, wild west of filmmaking, and everybody was, I mean, yeah, it would be great to be making money left and right the way they did in the 20s, not to see what happened in the 30s, but just the kind of abandon the type of just fun that period of time came from. So after I watched The Addams Family, I watched a movie which I am almost reticent to talk about, but I'm going to talk about it because this is live streaming, and I want to kind of get some of my thoughts out there about it. A movie called Candy. Now, if you guys, I'm sure nobody's probably heard of Candy. I mean, I'd be surprised if anybody in the chat has heard of this movie Candy. And let me just pull up the IMDb, or at least something that I can kind of refresh my memory as far as who was in it. But Candy was made in 1968. It was directed by Christian Marquand, and it stars Iwa Allen. It stars Marlon Brando, Richard Burton, James Coburn, John Huston, Walter Matthau, Ringo Starr, and John Astin, who played Gomez in the TV show of The Addams Family. It has cameos from Sugar Ray Robinson and a few other people that I'm not familiar with. But it's basically, so Candy is a weird movie. It is a parody of porn plots from 1968. It is based on a book that I guess was written by Terry Southern, who just kind of like came up with it like in the matter of just was paid $500. And it was just, it's like, all right, write this thing. But he came up with this bizarro sort of porn-esque story about a girl named Candy who's basically such an innocent naivete. She's like the super most innocent, like beautiful, just wanting to help everybody. But she runs into like a bunch of perverts. And Ringo Starr plays this. Oh, Terry Southern also wrote Dr. Strangelove. I was trying to find some relationship between Terry Southern and Dr. Strangelove, and I couldn't find that. Charles Hoffman points out Terry Southern wrote Dr. Strangelove. So it has this zaniness to it. But Ringo Starr plays a Mexican. Ringo Starr plays a Mexican gardener, who has like this first sexual encounter with Candy, because Candy decides she wants to give himself to the Mexican gardener. And then, but there's this other the character that Richard Burton plays is their high school teacher, who's this perverted, like, Irish poet who thinks so highly for himself. But he's like, I have a great need, Candy, great need. And she's like, well, if you have a great need and only I can fulfill it, then I will gladly help you. But he gets so drunk that he can't actually do anything with her. I mean, the movie is absolutely nuts. And speaking of Dr. Strangelove, John Astin, who plays Candy's father, also happens to play Candy's father's brother, who is her uncle. So it's got that weird Dr. Strangelove. I mean, the movie is. I'm going to have to do some sort of video on the topic, because I watched the movie with my jaw on the floor the whole entire way through. I mean, like I said, it is a send up of porno. However, it is not pornographic, really. I mean, it's as far as nudity, the most nudity is Walter Matthau plays this character he's this general that has to like fly in the air the entire time. He's in constant alert. But he like tells Candy to strip, and there's the most nudity you see is Candy has her hair like covering herself, but you see a little bit sneaking through the hair, that kind of stuff. I mean, the nudity in this is PG-13 at best. The topic matter is R, like crazy R. It is not a kiddie-friendly movie, but I mean, it is also not like obscene. It's not. I would not consider it obscenity, but it is such an. I wouldn't say it's a great movie, but it is a holy crap this is what imagination. This is like Cats, but made in the '60s and on acid, and there's no dancing and no really music. So it is. I mean, I would recommend. It's on Amazon. I'm going to have to do a video on this because it is so bizarre. I've never seen anything like it, and it is so. And the caliber of actors in it is just crazy, crazy, crazy. All right. So anyhow, those are my little two top hot takes. If you've been following on Patreon, you should check me out at Patreon, patreon.com/filmmakeriq. I am in the process of rebuilding my studio set. Today I put in I was working on painting and doing grouting work, which it's a fake brick veneer, and it's amazing how much the grouting makes a fake brick look actually like the real thing. It's really what it is. So that was what I was doing today, and I was a little late coming here, been hanging out with you guys, trying to make this thing a thing for 2021 as a hangout and talk to you guys. Wednesdays is usually what's looking good. So how you guys doing? What's going on other than Candy and Addams Family 2019 has. That's those are the two movies. Oh, I watched actually another show we could talk about. I talked about a little bit last week, but I guess it didn't come all the way out. WandaVision. So if you guys have been watching WandaVision at all, I've been checking that out. WandaVision is a show that I kind of wish they would release all at once. I'm of two minds on that show. On one hand, I'm intrigued by the plot, like what the hell the plot is going on. However, I'm also very irritated by the fact that it takes forever to get to the plot. Like the first two episodes I felt were cute, but like, where are you going with this? Because I mean, I'm not going to give you any spoilers because we're only 3 episodes into the season, so there really isn't room for spoilers. But basically, Wanda, if you followed the Marvel universe, Wanda is like the Scarlet Witch, and she has this amazing telekinesis powers, and she has a romantic thing with Vision, who's this robot, the robot of Jarvis. Again, I'm not a huge comic book nerd. I follow the movies. But I'm not like a super nerd. I couldn't tell you what all this stuff meant. But they have a relationship together, and in the last spoilers at this point. The last, if you don't know it, you haven't seen it, you don't care. In the last Endgame, Vision has to give his life, anyhow. But Vision's back with Wanda, and they're in this TV show, but they're kind of making fun of, they're mocking or paying tribute, homage to, the Honeymooners / I Love Lucy in the first episode. And the second episode's a little more like Dick Van Dyke Show a little bit, but it's literally a very, very, faithful tribute to the shows. But you're making you wonder, like, why are we watching this? This is a weird exercise. I mean, there is an underlying, like, why there is a larger meta story of why are they in this universe, which I think is interesting. Like, but the thing is, like, the first 2 episodes are almost strictly, here's the show. If we made it as a show in the 50s, and I feel like, it's cute, but it's pointless because this is not going anywhere. It's just like there's only like 10 seconds in the first 2 episodes that were like maybe 20 seconds worth of the first 2 episodes that I thought were interesting. Everything else felt kind of pointless and meandering. The third episode's when it starts to get a little bit even better because at least there's like a minute worth of plot. But I felt like it feels. Like I'm not one of those people that that is allergic to canned laughter. I know a lot of people online, a lot of people like on Reddit are like huge. Like if they hear canned laughter, they freeze up. I'm not like that. But this is a show where you have a lot of this canned laughter, and it does feel kind of grating. It's like why are we doing this? So yeah, the last one was more of a takeoff of Brady Bunch. I was going to say Brady Brunch, but yeah, I mean there were, like I said, there are a few minutes, and some of the comments here. Sorry, my comment thing is not working today because YouTube's API or somebody at YouTube is messing with us. But someone is saying here that is very David Lynchian. Yeah, and that's the part I like. That's the part I want to see more of. I want to see less of the sitcom send-ups and more of the David Lynch stuff. So that's what I'm kind of. Pedro says that WandaVision must walk faster. 3 episodes and still too little happening. Exactly. That's what I feel like. I want to see what's underneath the surface. And if they would have released this as a binge, where they released 8 episodes at once, you can kind of jump through it real quickly. That's cool, you know. Bedro says, "Will they do Family Ties or Who's the Boss?" Do you guys remember Mr. Belvedere? They gotta do Mr. Belvedere. Belvedere is where it's at, man. And it was T-Bone. Was it T-Bone Pickens that did the soundtrack at the opening song for Mr. Belvedere? Brady Brunch sounds like Charles Hoppin says Brady Brunch sounds like a themed restaurant. It could be that, or it could also be like, you know, the Brady Brunch is when you go and you have dinner or have brunch with the Tom Brady and the folks. So, have you guys seen speaking of Lynchian? If you guys check out the Omega Mart, ad that's out there for, is it Meow? What's this? Meow Lion art installation in Las Vegas. I really hope that installation is available. They have moved NAB show, which is usually in April. It's interesting because I used to go to the NAB show like religiously every year. Then I stopped when my finances got really bad for a while. Like, I was just making nothing. So I'm like, well, I don't really want to go out to the NAB. So I skipped a couple years, and I came back a couple years ago. My finances started kind of steadying a little bit. But if you go back to NAB, like I when I was doing like my videos on like the history of video, NAB goes all the way back to like the 50s, right? But it's always April. It's always been April, until this year, because COVID killed it last year. And this year, I think they're like, well, April's kind of early. Let's just push it all the way back to October. So it's going to be in October, and I think I'm going to try to go to that. So if you guys go to NAB show, which is National Association of Broadcasters, it is mostly a video thing. It's not really cinema, but I'm really more of a video guy anyway. So that's where my background. It just happens that film and video have basically become one. But anyhow, Omega Mart. Have you guys seen that ad for Omega Mart? It is nuts. It is. They have it's Willie Nelson. It's like a Willie Nelson, but it's a deep fake Willie Nelson. I guess Meow Lang is this weird art installation out in Santa Fe, and you go there and it's just like an experience. You just kind of walk through the exhibits, but they all have like this underlying narrative. It's kind of like Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared. Or is that if I'm saying the name of that show right? But it's like multiple layers, David Lynch stuff, David Lynchian style absurdism, but it's kind of creepy. I mean, I love that stuff. It's just awesome. So if you want some of that, watch Candy, watch that Omega Mart thing. Art Bell is dead. Did Art Bell died? Let me see. I gotta look up. I've never been a big fan of Art Bell. If you're not familiar with him, he's a radio host. Art Bell. I guess he died a couple years ago. Okay, I didn't realize. I don't follow Art Bell very well, but he's a guy that did a lot of. Art Bell did a lot of weird conspiracy, like radio called Coast to Coast AM. And I mean, I used to catch it, but conspiracies tick me off to no end. Like, they really bother me. Like literally get under my skin and make me pissed off. Like the thing is, I've been getting a lot. Well, I haven't been getting a lot, but my video on the slit scan with the 2001, where I said this is the first photo of the Earth of this kind, and it was the blue marble was the first photo from space from 1978. So it was a rather late Apollo mission. But people always give me crap about it. But the thing is, like no Apollo mission, no manned space flight had ever been timed just right so that you see the entire Earth, almost like an almost perfect circle. And then you can get that in one shot. Like, it took all the way till Apollo 17, right, to get that shot. But people always come on there and say like, oh, ho, ho, funny, funny. Fat man thinks that Apollo missions are real. It's like, God, you fucking morons, dude. It's like the guys that sit there and still talk about how like, oh, the lighting in the shot is reminiscent of studio lighting. Like, you are a fucking moron. And pardon my language there. Sorry, YouTube, I'm getting demonetized. But like those conspiracies, like moon people or moon deniers and all they kill me. And I can have some fun. I can have some fun with it. Like lizard people, I can kind of have fun with that. But Gunio says Art Bell was never alive. The whole thing was a hoax. Yeah, he was played by Andy Kaufman. Andy Kaufman played him. Anyhow. So if Gunnioni says if the moon is real, why do monkeys still exist? Ooh, X-Files theme. There you go. So yeah, anyhow. So that's that. So yeah. No, I don't have anything else to talk about. I don't have anything planned to talk about today. So I was just going to come on there and hang out with you guys. So in California, and I don't want this to become a political show because it's not going to be ever do that. But we did, my governor did release the stay-at-home order, so at least we can go back out and have outdoor dining. So I celebrated my friend Tim's birthday. It was just the last Monday, so we had sushi on Tuesday. First time we had been able to go out to a sushi restaurant and have sushi for like months, and oh boy, that was good. That was fantastic. Fantastic. So Pedro Silva, I should make that a meme. Let's talk about Tenet again. Pedro, that's good point. It's like every time I come on here, they always like, hey, did you see Tenet? What are your thoughts on Wonder Woman 1984? Like the last 4 streams, it was Tenet and Wonder Woman 1984. So anyhow, Pedro says about the moon. I guess I know some people say the film they used to photograph over there would disintegrate anyway on the trip back. I don't think that's really the case. I mean, you can always put film in a like an iron case going through the what's it called, the not the Kuiper belt's way out there. It's the not the Oort cloud. What the heck is that? The one belt that everyone's complaining about that you can't fly through. There you go, Van Allen belt. Thank you guys. You guys are on the ball. Van Allen belt. Yeah. So yeah. I'm in California. So we are back to. We're not open. We're just back to. You can go out eat outdoors. You can get your hair cut. Man, I saw a friend of mine that I had not seen literally like a year and a half. I used to see him because I play trumpet. He plays trombone, and when I saw him, like his hair was. He's like a real. He generally his hair is like he has a buzz cut around here, but his hair was like he's a caveman haircut, man. I had not seen him in like a year and a half because it's been so long. And that was a day that I was feeling so bad. Because the worst thing about the lockdowns really is that we separate, I mean, beyond everything else, it's that we separate ourselves personally from each other. So the only time I ever saw another human being was if I went to the store. And that was just basically, oh, there's a human being over there. But like I couldn't see or interact with anybody. You know, other than my mom. My mom has like some it's hardcore dementia on her part, so it's like really hard to deal with. So I didn't have any real physical connection, and that's kind of why also I like doing even these streams with you guys just to hang out and talk to somebody, even if I'm talking to chat. But it's good stuff. But no, I was feeling so bad. But I saw my friend for the first time in like years, and he had this big old haircut. He's not on social media, so I never get to see him. Or even talk to see what see how he is, but I saw him at Costco. He was there. I was just there to buy salt, because they have a very particular type of salt, and I couldn't even find the salt there, so I had to buy an alternative salt. So sorry. But yeah, that's the worst thing about the lockdowns. Again, I don't want to. This is really a filmmaking channel. I don't want to veer too away from filmmaking and video and all that stuff, but. You know, the worst part is the physical toll the mental toll of not having to be around people that you used to be. And I'm not like a social butterfly. I'm not you can tell. Look at me, dude. Do I look like a social butterfly? Do I look like a gadfly that goes out there and hangs out with parties and parties it up. No, I do not. I'm more of a loner than anything, but even the loner is like, ugh, I hate not being around other people or seeing people. So anyhow. Battle Elf says magnetism affects tape. Yes, it does. So don't run your magnets through a tape. But yeah, Bendover says the Van Allen radiation blanked the film, so they had to. Well, no, film is not tape. So radiation would not expose film, but they would have to put the film in a box. But then again, if that allowed that amount of radiation wouldn't affect the film anyhow. So I love. Okay, so now I guess we're trolling me here. So Battle Elf wants to say I look like an incel. Well, we'll get rid of that. We had Phil Ingrew says IQ. We had Peter Cushing's face put on a body double in Rogue One. How do you feel about this being the next big thing in Hollywood, putting dead actors' faces on actors' body doubles? I'm not a big fan of that. Look, like I don't know. I was not the biggest fan of Rogue One, and part of it was I didn't really care for the Peter Cushing stuff. I wouldn't even say I wasn't even that big a fan of Mandalorian, even though he's still alive. So, but then again, I mean, I don't know. There's a point like Blade Runner 2049 where we had the Rachel character getting what's it called? Rachel character do the digital double. Hold on, Battle Elf's being a dick, so you're gonna bye. Where are you? Report and bye. One thing I've learned that it's fine to just boot people, and Battle Elf will be gone. So anyhow, yeah. So Rachel was a digital double, and I thought that was actually a really good use. But they brought the original actress back for that to do that. What about the ending with Carrie Fisher? Yeah, I'm just. I'm not going to defend Rogue One because I'm not. I didn't like that movie. I just thought it was dreary and depressing and cheerless, and I really did not like the kind of body double stuff. I mean, yeah, I kind of see it, but one of the greatest movies of all time was Godfather 2, right? It's considered one of the greatest movies of all time. They didn't need to freaking do a digital double for the young Don Corleone. They used another actor, so I don't mind that, like, why can't we just have another actor play this character? Like, I think somebody was showing me they did a Han Solo movie, but with Harrison Ford, digitally put in place. It's like, I'd rather just have, someone else play him, I'd rather, or Star Trek, have Chris Pine playing the young Kirk. So I'd rather have that. Why? We need to it is some fan service stuff, but we need to get to the point where we just accept that different people can play different things, or different. We can have James Bond can be played by 7 different people. Hey, James Bond can be played by a black man now. James Bond can be played by a female James Bond, Jane Bond. Although it might not work quite well. Character would be a little bit of a stretch there. How many Doctor Who's do we have? It's been played by all kinds of people. So, yeah, let's get to the point where anybody can play him. CGI Chadwick Boseman showing up in Black Panther 2. I don't know how Marvel is on the record saying they were not going to do something that nature. So I don't know how they're going to play with that. Derek Roberts gives a point. I wouldn't mind seeing a young Marlon Brando deepfake in The Godfather 2. That would be that's the next thing they should try, right? Let's see. Ganoni says because of COVID we did a deepfake over CGI. It looked really uncomfortable, which is the goal. Let's see. Are you going to watch that new movie with Rami Malek? I don't know what new movie he's in. I mean, right now I'm kind of like. So honestly, when I was trying to figure out what to watch when I was in the woods and hanging out there, and go through Amazon. It took me like an hour to just click, 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 because I didn't want to watch something I've already seen, but I also didn't want to see something that was depressing. So it took me a long time before I finally found and I saw, all right, I'll watch Addams Family, and I enjoyed it. But what's Rami Malek in? I don't know. Can't even see it. Digital necromancy. Okay. Sure. I have no idea what it's about. I might enjoy it. So I think I told the story last, like the Mad Max Fury Road was a movie I saw. I walked into blind and I didn't even know what the hell it was about. And I thought it was like the greatest movie experience of my life at that point. And I was like, and I didn't have any idea what it was all about. So it was great to see that. Dethroner X says, is there an option to set a chat topic? You can just type whatever topic you want and we can talk about it. This is just a hangout stream. I mean, I do a little topic at the top just to kind of get everybody on board and just kind of hanging out. And just kind of get things into gear. But other than that, I'm just kind of hanging out with you guys, just kind of chilling for a while. Let's see, how long have we been on there? About 30 minutes or so? We'll probably go on for about an hour or so. Derek Roberts says, I missed the Ringo movie conversation. Just want to add Magic Christian with Peter Sellers is my favorite Ringo movie. Oh, King Kong vs. Godzilla trailer. Have not seen it. Weirdly enough, I've seen it mentioned everywhere, but I have not clicked on it to actually watch it. So I should probably check that out. So I'll have to check that out. Tasty Slopsicle says it's Mad Max. Well, I was not a big fan of Mad Max until that movie. I saw one or two movies. John, what is your favorite movie of all time? I think we keep talking about it. It's Doctor Strangelove. Yeah. Oh, we were talking about King Kong versus Godzilla is glorious schlock. I mean, that's what you want it to be. Like, I don't want it to be anything but schlock. I want it to be just goofy. I don't want to take it too seriously. I don't want to walk into a Zack Snyder Jesus Christ analogy, like King Kong is Jesus and Godzilla is John the Baptist. I don't want that. I don't want that at all. But talk about Alien Drone Services. Talk about how horrible trailers are for ruining the naive movie experience. I don't know. I mean, horrible trailers are nothing new. Like, it's funny, the trailer for Candy actually has a shot from the very last scene. It's like what the heck? I mean, but then again, back then the trailer was just to get you in the movie. Like, you didn't study the trailers like they do nowadays. I guess the internet has changed the way trailers have become, because in a trailer, when you go to the movies, it's like, oh, you saw the trailer of the movie. You don't have time to sit there and go through frame by frame. Like, oh, that's a clue. That is a clue for the. You don't do that. So, oh, there you go. Tasty Slopsicle. Hand the DCEU over to John Waters. Oh, we're gonna get a real good Aquaman for that. Fantastic. It reminds me of the Simpsons episode. Everything's a Simpsons episode. With John Waters plays the gay collector. It's like, isn't that special? And wait a second, is Bart gay? Everybody dance now. Boom, dun, 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 dun. Yeah, Pedro Silva says, it doesn't seem like this religious thing. I don't mind if it's only fighting. No, I'm just joking with the Zack Snyder Christ analogy. But like, if you watch any of the Superman Zack Snyder, it's always like, yes, I get it, Superman is Christ. He's being crucified. Yes, I get it. He's doing the Christ thing. Your thoughts about the Brazilian movie City of God? I wasn't really crazy about City of God. I'm not, unless I'm thinking of the wrong movie. Is City of God what I'm thinking of it is, or am I thinking of Children of God? I think was what I was thinking. I don't think I've seen City of God. No, I haven't seen that movie. So I'll have to check that one out. Zap! Pedro Silva. Yep, got it. You got it. You know what I'm talking about. Hippie Speedball Podcast says, with the rise of podcasting, do you see a boom in audio dramas in the future, like old school radio shows, especially more actors in it? Yes. It's not just podcasts. You know where else you'll find the audio dramas? Audible.com. I actually love this. Check this out. I love this. I'll even show you this is one of my favorite radio drama, basically. It's Raymond Chandler's the BBC radio drama collection of Philip Marlowe's. There's like 5 or 6 Philip Marlowe. Look, my phone's going crazy. 5 or 6 Philip Marlowe mysteries, like not film noir. This is just noir writing, but it's one of the best. Way
back to Los Angeles, I listened to my thoughts. They move fitfully in and out, like Dr. Almore's thin, nervous hands pulling at the edge of his curtains. I saw Lavery. What did he say?
Anyhow, that's the I don't forget what the name of that book is. Yeah, you're gonna find a lot of radio dramas on Audible.com, and there's actually one on Dune. There's a Dune I have downloaded. I haven't really. Dune is so hard to get into, so I have not quite get into that. But I love the radio stuff on Audible. It's really cool. William Walters asked, did you like A Quiet Place? Do you think A Quiet Place 2 part 2 will be a good sequel? I liked Quiet Place. I thought it was very competently made. Although A Quiet Place does feel a little bit like a student film in that it's like, how can we prove that? Or this is like, we can prove to you that we don't need dialogue to make a scary movie. So I got that sense of it, but it was very well made, and I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. It wasn't my favorite movie, but do I think Quiet Place 2 will be good or bad? Well, it's not. John Krasinski's not in it anymore, so it's just be Pam. It won't be the same. The Office will never be the same without Jim. Never mind. I don't know if it's gonna. I don't tend to think of. I don't like to judge a movie before it comes out yet. Wasn't Superman created by 2 Jewish guys? Wouldn't it be more of Moses? Yeah, but Zack Snyder just makes everybody Jesus, man. Boy, chat's starting to take off here. Mark, how do I get feedback on my feature script? I'm new, so I know it's shit. I just need to know how and why it's shit and how to fix it. You can pay for it. You can actually submit to like Blacklist. I think there's a couple screening places that'll read your script and give you some tips. You can try to find some folks out there. Facebook groups that are screenwriters. There's screenwriting on Reddit that you could probably submit it to. And some kind guy will probably go there and rip it to shreds. But you can try that. Quiet Place 2 looks like Bird Box. Yeah, I forgot about Bird Box. My God, that movie that didn't last very long in my memory. My film on noir is thank you. Yeah, Raymond Chandler. Oh, Raymond Chandler is so awesome. Don't know why they haven't really done anything with his stuff since the 70s. Well, maybe it's time. Maybe it's time to break that. People always say, like, I hate remakes, but I don't know. Some things I wouldn't mind getting remade, like Raymond Chandler's Philip Marlowe series, the film noir. Bring it back, man. I love that stuff. Why not? Revision it, redo it. I had a Dune book. My friend took it before I could read it, so I never watched the movie because of the terminology I wouldn't get. Yeah, Dethroner X says, yeah. Steven Rotolo says, did I like Parasite? I liked it myself, but the hype was unreal. I agree. I liked it. I liked it, but I didn't love it. I liked it. Like, when I like a movie and then people tell me you have to watch it, it's like, okay. I liked it. It was good. I get why you liked it. But, was it better than 1917? I don't think. I think 1917 probably deserves more of the. 1917 was more of a stunt movie. Man, oh man, what a crazy job they did with that. And I also really liked in that Oscar season. I really liked the Marriage Story. I thought that was really heartfelt. I like Noel Baumbach. I really liked Frances Ha. I just kind of liked that kind of movie. And Adam Driver and Scarlett Johansson were phenomenal in that movie. So Phil Ingrew says, I watched Dune 1984 last year. Forgot what the plot was halfway through. I know. It has Sting and Patrick Stewart. So there you go. Daniel asked, when will I be on again? I try to do them on Wednesdays, and I do them between 4 and 6, but today was a little long. Baron Who Blue says City of God is a movie about the slums of Rio de Janeiro. The movie's a top 10 on IMDb. Yeah, I should probably watch that. I'll check it out. Have you seen the film version of Repo, the Genetic Opera? Yes, I have. I liked it. The music is a little forgettable, but I remember back when it came out, like early 2000s when I think it came out, and it was just trippy to see some new, just a new musical back in those days. 'Cause the musicals at that time, I think was that before or after Chicago? I will have to look that up. But it was just a oddball film, man. It was so cool to see it. Repo, the Genetic, 2008. So it was like quite a bit after Chicago. So it was kind of cool to see just some new. And then Christine Dye was in it. Christine Dye, what's her face? What's her name? Sarah Brightman. Yeah, this is a cool. I probably wouldn't mind going back and revisiting it. It's not my favorite musical, but I mean, it's kind of neat. Hippie Speedball Podcast is, by the way, when I was getting into filmmaking, I learned so much from your videos. Thank you for being my film professor at University of YouTube. I am here at the University of YouTube. I was supposed to teach last year, but I never did. Stranger Sounds identifies Louis Rossman ranting about Wall Street. I watched that video. That was pretty good. I think Louis Rossman's got a point. I enjoy his point of view a lot, so I do watch a lot of his stuff. It's very Los Angeles. I tried to watch the director's cut of Dune and almost gave up on the introduction, Pedro. But isn't the thing I noticed about Dune? Okay, maybe I'm being like, what's her name? Dune. The actress. There she is. Is that Virginia Madsen? Who's the actress at the very beginning of Dune? Yeah, it's Virginia Madsen. I mean, she's just so damn gorgeous in that very first shot of Dune. I mean, incredible. So, yeah, it's such a beautiful woman in that. Who else is? I'm trying to see who else is in that movie. Was Sean Young? I love Sean Young. Sean Young was a beautiful woman. She kind of got a little crazy since, but she was incredible in that and Blade Runner, of course. Sean Young. Anyhow, what do you think of After Hours? I don't know what Beardo, which After Hours you're referring to, because used to be a show that After Hours, the 1985 movie, or there was a show, TV series that came out in 2010 that I used to watch a lot of. But I've not seen the movie After Hours. Martin Scorsese. Oh, I have not seen that one. I'll have to check that one out. The movie I want to watch actually is the Hudsucker Proxy. Actually, I saw a little bit of that trailer, and I was heard of it, but I never took the time to watch it. So I want to watch that because I'm actually working on a documentary about the Whammo hula hoop. So it's kind of cool. The family does she's like, that stupid movie Hudsucker Proxy. Claim they invented the hula hoop. They got the whole story wrong. So. One more horror film. Derek Roberts asked, one more horror film question. What do you think of the movie Wolfen by Albert Finney? Never even heard of it. So I'll have to check that one out. Phil Ingrew says, have you watched Electric Boogaloo, the documentary about Canon Films? No, I'll have to check that one out. Canon Films, okay. Stranger Sound, University of YouTube, I like it. It's partial to industrial arts scene. YouTube, let's face it, and it's an awesome. YouTube's a great place for learning basically anything. Like I bought myself a 3D printer, and I'm going to learn how to use it through YouTube, through the YouTube. Charles Hoffman points out Sean Young was always crazy, but she was young and hot, so that muted a lot of her crazy. That's that old How I Married Your Mother chart, right? The hot and crazy graph. One extreme or the other extreme. Beardos has put After Hours ahead of that in your queue. Okay. What is 7.7? Yeah, it's just the Hudsucker Proxy just looks like such a Coen movie, and there's something about the Coen movie that is so cool. If you like snappy dialogue, if you like snappy dialogue of 30 Years film, you'll love Hudsucker. Okay, I do actually love snappy dialogue. So, Jay Garcone says, "What's the best advice you can give for someone making a documentary?" Boy, that's okay. So, I'll tell you the truth. I don't particularly like documentary filmmaking. I just don't. I like narrative. I like having a plan. Even if it's a narrative commercial, I like having a plan, going and shooting stuff, and then executing that plan. So the way of narrative film is you come with an idea and you execute it, right? And then you alter it and you find new ways of looking at the story, but you have a story in the beginning. Narrative works the other way around. You just gather a bunch of stuff, and then you come up with a story out of the stuff that you gathered. So the best advice is to gather a lot of footage, like a lot of footage. You have to like explore things from every direction, like because you never know where it's going to go. Because part of the narrative filmmaking is even when you're doing an interview or talking head or something like that, you're just discovering the story. You're just trying to find the story. Enough times that you have to don't be afraid to have people repeat themselves. If you're doing a documentary, and then B-roll, lots and lots and lots of B-roll. Just shoot a lot of stuff. Just shoot a lot of different angles. Because you never know what you're gonna need, and you never know how it's gonna all come together. So documentary is basically gather as much asset as you can out there in the wild. That's my advice. Daniel Gonzalez says Kafkaesque, and I don't know why YouTube thought Kafkaesque was something that they needed to hide. That is bizarre. Baron Her Blue said, "Did you know that your content is the best chance that people in the third world study film school?" Thank you, dude. Yeah, I hope so. I could try. I do have a lot of fans out there in Philippines. I know in Iran, they actually steal my videos and play them on their national television. And I don't think there's anything I can do about that because I'm not going to sue Iran. Plus, I don't think I get any money out of it anyway, so whatever. I'm famous in Iran. Hey! So, German film, let's see. Loads of college lectures on the tube. I clocked a lot. Yeah, a lot of those lectures are pretty good. Oh, another movie I watched was I rewatched Coco. You know what's weird about Coco? So I've watched that movie so many times. I haven't watched it in like years and years. So I watched. They did a live Coco thing on Disney Plus. They did like a live staging of Coco and did some music. So I watched that, and then I was like, "Oh, this made me want to watch Coco." So I watched Coco, and the bizarre thing about Coco is the music was different than how I remembered it. Because I would watch it like 4 or 5 times when I did my Coco review or like a Coco breakdown of the movie. So I thought I had the movie memorized. But when I watched the movie again, I'm like, the music's a little different. I don't remember it being quite... Like a couple sound cues I remember, like, oh, I remember that sound cue when Miguel finally gets to the party in the Land of the Dead. I remember that cue. But some of the other musical cues were like, that's weird. Weird cue, but maybe it's just my memory. My memory morphs it and whatever. Stranger Sound says a plan that is a hell lot easier, that's for sure. But letting the universe put it together is fun too. What I find frustrating though with documentary, I guess that's the other tip for documentaries: be very organized. Because what's frustrating about documentary is, you have an idea for a story, but you can't find that piece of footage. Was in there somewhere. They talked about something. So that's another thing that makes documentary really frustrating for me, is like trying to find things. The thing is though, like, or what will happen is, documentary is you'll shoot a bunch of stuff, and then you're like, I wish I shot some of that, or I wish I had some of this. So it's hard to find the B-roll over the stuff for documentary. So, yeah. Okay. Random question: Is it possible to have extra wide anamorphic lens like a 12 millimeter? Ooh, good question. MKL257. I think, is it possible? I think you're limited on that because remember the anamorphics tend to have the horizontals, the wide. So if you have like a 24 millimeter lens, it's really a 12 millimeter lens on the horizontal. So can you have like a super, like a panoramic sort of esque anamorphic? I imagine so. You can have you can probably do it, but the problem is the optics and the way and the coverage of the actual lens becomes a problem, I think, because with longer focal length you can it's really easy to cover a piece of film. Like you can get a 200 millimeter lens. That'll cover like a 4x5 piece of film. It'll cover a big piece of film, but you can't get a very short focal length lens to cover, like say a 35 millimeter sensor. It's hard, and the shorter and shorter focal length you get, the harder it is to cover that area. So that's why I think the problem with the lower focal lengths are. All right, let's see. Let's jump up back here. IQ, do you think reviewing 30s, 40s movies, 80s, 70s, 80s movies requires a different approach how we review movies released in 2010? Yes. I think you should always watch a movie in relationship to the era that it was created in. Just a funny story. Like I was watching. Okay, I'm gonna get canceled here. I was watching one of my favorite movies of all time. Probably my second favorite movie of all time is Some Like It Hot. I love that movie. I think it's hilarious. I think it's brilliant. I think Marilyn Monroe is amazing in that movie. Jack Lemmon is probably the best he's ever been in any movie. That movie's Billy Wilder is wicked smart. My boy's wicked smart. Billy Wilder, right? I love Billy Wilder. But I was showing it to my friends who was like I'm a millennial, like a young millennial, like Gen Z or whatever comes after millennial, where they're kind of a little bit too woke to get it. And that was somewhat uncomfortable because like they were not like digging the jokes, like the stuff. So I don't know, like to me that movie is so awesome, but if you're woke, that movie is terrible. So yeah, you gotta have to get your mind in the mindset of when this film was made in the era, and then appreciate it for what it was in that era. Phil in Gru says, I liked Soul, didn't love it. I love Coco though. Yeah, I'm the same boat. I like Soul a lot. I mean, I would say it's like super I like Soul. I like the last movie that they made, the Pixar movie made, the Quest, or the I forget the name of the movie. But they were good, but Coco is Coco's a masterpiece. Yeah, those guys, I would love to, if I could work at Pixar, that'd be awesome. The thing is though, what I've come to realize is I don't want to work at Pixar. I want to run the show at Pixar. I want to run Pixar. If you work at Pixar, I'm sure it'd be fun, but I'm sure there's always going to be that element of, okay, it's a slog. I'm just doing what my boss tells me to do. I want to have a say at Pixar. That's where I want to do it. I don't want to just clean the toilets, because that's just cleaning toilets. I'm sorry. It's clean toilets. I mean, it's a job, but you can do that anywhere. But I want to run the show. I want to do the stories at Pixar. Ugh, what a great place. Those guys have such a great team together. Controversial Spielberg question. Derek Roberts asked, do you think Jaws has more in common with Duel or Jurassic Park? I think Jaws is more Duel. I don't think Jurassic Park is anything like Jaws, really. Because remember, Jaws is or Jurassic Park. You see the dinosaur. You see the dinosaurs all over. Luke Skywalker says the Force is strong. That is the way. That is definitely the way. So anyhow, just jumping back. Stranger Sound says, have I watched Oxiana and Florida Man? I've not seen either of those, so I'll have to check those out. Watch Oxiana first, You'll need Florida Man afterward. Oxiana is heartbreaking. I'm not right now. I'm not into depressing movies. I want to watch funny movies. I want to watch zany stuff like Candy. Sam Jemison says, how would I compare Seventh Year Itch versus Some Like It Hot? I like Some Like It Hot more than 7 Year Itch. They're both Billy Wilder. Yeah, they're both Billy Wilder. Some Like It Hot, I think, is more fun. Seventh Year Itch is great. It's also Billy Wilder, but it's not the same. Just wild ride. I think part of it is Tony Curtis really does bring something too. Yeah, Tony Curtis and Jack Lemmon is a good pairing. Is it Tom Ewing who does Seventh Year Itch? He's good. Don't get me wrong. I like him, but it's not. It doesn't have the same thing. Now, if you want to put, how about throw The Apartment in there? Apartment, 7 Year Itch, Some Like It Hot. There you go. That's a triple feature. That's a good night right there. Derek Roberts says, but sharks and dinosaurs are creatures, and trucks are man-made vehicles. Prentice Ryan says, so no Lars von Trier. Not a big fan. Honestly, not a big fan. It's weird. YouTube is blocking this Stranger Sound your comment of PC shit be damned. I think I know what you're saying. The algorithm doesn't get it, though. I'm going to have some more of my La Croix. Oh, The Odd Couple. Another great movie. Beardo. Another Jack Lemmon, Walter Matthau. Speaking of did Terry Southern write one of the Odd Couple movies? I'm not sure. I gotta look this up now. I already have IMDb up here. Terry Southern. No, I mean I'm going crazy. Oh, I didn't know. I did not know this. Okay, I gotta watch more Terry Southern, man. I gotta check this out. Terry Southern, Doctor Strangelove, my favorite movie. Barbarella and Candy are very, very, very similar. That's probably why I like Candy so much. I like Barbarella. Barbarella is weird. I'm not sure I'm a big fan of Barbarella. But yeah, there's Candy. Easy Rider. Yeah. Terry Southern. Interesting gentleman. Interesting. Phil says his favorite movie is Shawshank Redemption. Great movie. What was it? When I saw Shawshank Redemption, the guy that directed it, what's his name? He also did Walking Dead. Of all things. Shawshank. Chat will probably get it to me quicker. Frank Darabont said in one of his behind the scenes that every night they would watch Goodfellas, and that Goodfellas was basically the story, the mood board for Shawshank Redemption. And if you watch Shawshank Redemption with in mind that this is kind of visually similar to Goodfellas, it actually does make sense. There is actually a lot of Goodfellas in Shawshank. Unless my brain is going crazy, I think that's the story. If anybody can verify that. Sam Jemison asks, do you think Monroe was underrated as an actress? I don't think she's underrated. I think everybody says she's a great actress. She just unfortunately I don't know, just messed up, man. Poor lady was really, really messed up. It's a shame that she didn't live to a ripe old age and got to, we got to see Marilyn in her 80s. That would have been cool. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know if it's a matter of that whole sex pot kind of lifestyle just kind of messed with her, because it's just object of lust for all men, presents all the way down to your average moviegoers. So I don't know what does that do to a psyche of a girl. I mean, I say girl as in a woman. What does that do to your psyche to have that kind of, essentially sort of like a power, but it's power based on your physical attractiveness. Like I don't have that I don't have that power. Look at me. That's like the furthest thing I have. But I sometimes wonder about that. Like, what's it like? Okay, we can talk about deep stuff, and this is not political, but this is kind of deep. But like, what is it like to have that kind of power when you're really, really young? Like women who are beautiful, young actresses. Even though we're talking about Candy, the girl that plays the lead character in Candy is a Swedish Miss Sweeten, whatever. She was in like 3 movies and then married an Italian, like billionaire or whatever. So she did all right. But like having all this power when you're really, really young as a woman, and then everybody who's after you, like everybody wants to be around you for reasons, but as a woman, you don't really understand because you're young and you don't really understand the world yet. So, but I wonder that kind of power inversion, because as a dude who has not been the subject of fancy for anybody, as a ugly dude here, and I'm not proud of it or anything, or I'm just accepting it for what it is. It's the complete opposite. It's like I wonder what that power is like. So I don't know how much we got into it. I'm not incel like the other guy that had to boot off here was bitching about. I remember things. I remember people. I'll kick him. Anyhow, Beardo says my favorite silent movie is The Cabinet of Dr. Caligari. Awesome pick. Tasty Slopsicle says Shawshank Redemption 2. This time it's for the no mercy. It's all the marbles. Prestis Ryan Sneed says I recently watched Frankenheimer's Seconds, and I was blown away by James Wong's How's cinematography. James Wong Howe, what a underrated. Y'all, talking about diversity in filmmaking. James Wong Howe, man, that mofo, that guy is what an amazing cinematographer that no one talks about, and he's Asian. No, we don't need to worry about him. Forget about him. He's Asian. We don't talk about him. He's amazing cinematographer, and his photography. Like if you go through if you've been to Fox Studios or any of those studios, you see those big giant prints of the old movie stars. I think they used to shoot them on like either 4x5 or 8x10 film. Gorgeous things, and James Wong Howe did a lot of that stuff. Amazing photography. Pops Freshenmeyer says, fun fact, Berlin still has a small off cinema on the premises of that studio where Caligari was shot. Cool. Derek Roberts says, the first Playboy centerfold, that's Marilyn Monroe, among my favorite top 10 art. I think the Mafia killed Marilyn to get the JFK, says Beardo. I don't know. See, the thing is, like, I don't know if I buy the theory, conspiracy theory, because Marilyn was already, she was having a lot of issues, man. So I can, her committing suicide, I can buy. Someone kill her? I don't know. Probably not, but anyhow. Dethroner X says, I want to watch The Snowman, 1982. Hopefully, been waiting to. Cool. Beardo says, Kurosawa was okay. I think Kurosawa was pretty good. Yeah, I never did finish my Studio Ghibli thing. I appreciate Studio Ghibli. Just it doesn't draw me as much as I get it. Draw me. Elliot asks, is there a place for 4x3 or 1x1 aspect ratio in modern film, like in Pablo Larraín's Jackie, or is it a gimmick? I don't know. Art's art. You do whatever you want. Like, I mean, The Lighthouse. Would The Lighthouse have worked better if it wasn't 1x1? I don't think so. Or even was it like a fraction? Was it like 0.8 or something like that? Was it a little bit taller than it was wide? I think the Lighthouse. I don't think it would have worked. I don't think it would have worked as well in any other aspect ratio. Honestly, that movie was meant for that aspect ratio. There are a couple other 4x3 movies out there. I don't know. It depends. I don't know. My imagination, unfortunately, is not that good to think of a story that I feel would suit itself to 4x3. We were just talking about WandaVision. If had WandaVision been shot anything but 4x3, it would not have felt right. So I think a lot of other things look really good. Petrus says that in his opinion, that faces look best when they're framed at 4:3. They can, they can. Like I think 4:3, like it's Martin Scorsese's got a famous thing. He says that Scorsese loves 4:3 because it frames the faces really well. He's right. However, when you look at CinemaScope, that 2.39 aspect ratio, you watch some of those, those westerns, Sergio Leone spaghetti westerns. Those, man, oh man, those are some. Just to see like a wide shot of just Charles Bronson's eyes. Ooh, that is cool shit. That is you don't need drugs, man. You just look at that. Well, Lighthouse is only 5x4 or something. Yeah, Lighthouse is crazy. Phil in Groove says, have I heard of Red Letter Media? No, I have not. I've never heard of Red Letter Media. I literally talk about Red Letter Media every time we're on here. Depends on the idea and the camera. Doing it digitally with film looks fake. As far as the aspect ratio, maybe. Kurosawa was actually pretty maligned in Japan at the time because he was seen as too Western because he was influenced by John Ford Westerns. That's a shame. So, CinemaScope is amazing. I'll leave that comment. Derek Roberts says we're not afraid of talking about nudity here. I do like nude female art, but strictly limit myself to if I'm explaining myself right. I hope you are. I was watching an interview. Someone was saying, like, even though I enjoy nudity in movies, if I'm being honest, there's never really a need for it. And I think to myself a lot, that's true. But as much as I enjoy watching explosions on the screen, there's never really a need to see an explosion on screen, So there's a lot of stuff in movies and art. I think we do things for gratuity. We do things for sheer visual pleasure, I guess. But is that necessarily like when I watch a musical, do we really need the dancing? Probably not. So what's the argument? Like the dancing in musicals is pretty gratuitous, and singing too. In fact, do we even need anything? It's all gratuitous. So, Beardo says it's kind of necessary for porn. Certain kinds of porn where even there's no nudity in it. Think about that. Put that in your pipe. We're gonna get demonetized for sure. And there goes my channel. Jonah says Sergei Ursky, the cinematographer master nobody talks about. Oh, okay. Sarah Ursevsky. Just watch I Am Cuba and the Letter Never Sent. Amazing. 4:3 is to CRT what vinyl is to analog and tubes. I'm trying to think. 4:3. Well, I mean, I have a CRT at home that's a 16:9. So it's crazy. Deliverance needed it. I'm sure what that meant. Dethroner X wants to see a porn Sesame Street directed by David Lynch. Alright. I don't know why you want to see that. I see a lot of stuff directed by David Lynch, but I don't think it need to be a porno. Jonah G, the use of infrared black and white cinematography in I Am Cuba. Oh, okay. Infrared. Infrared is fun. Infrared. I have not even played. I can't even contemplate the idea of playing with infrared technology. That'd be kind of fun. Oh, Phil and Grew. I'm gonna read it, even though I see you say IQ dark question. So, are we gonna get in trouble for saying this? All right, let's do this. How would you approach making a biopic about a serial killer, considering the backlash against Ted Bundy movie starring Zac Efron? Honestly, I don't even know what the backlash was with the Ted Bundy movie. I mean, hell, we have the Hollywood's the weirdest place in that we have glorified violence. Every horror movie is a glorified violence, and then we have a biopic about a serial killer. Well, I don't know. I don't see any problem with that. If you guys remember that there's a documentary about Don't Fuck with Cats. Remember that? It was a Netflix documentary. It was basically about this. They had this one serial killer that was torturing cats on internet. Would post these videos, and then on Facebook they would like try to track this guy down. So this whole documentary, 4 hours of this thing, right? Trying to track this guy down. And he graduated from cats to people. He actually killed people and put them on video. And then at the very end, so they finally found him after, all the sleuthing, because everybody went down the rabbit hole trying to figure out where this guy was. Finally found him and arrested him, the guy I'm charged. But at the very end of the documentary, the lady that was one of our people that we were following the whole entire documentary turns to the camera and says, You are the reason this is happening. You are the reason why we have this kind of problem in our society. And I thought to myself, fuck you, lady. You advertised this thing to me saying, oh, this is a cool true crime story, and now you're saying it's my fault for watching it? Fuck you. Fuck your production company. Fuck Netflix. That's how enraged I got when I saw this. It's like, no, fuck you. Get off your fucking high horse, you stupid idiot. So, yeah. They're making this movie about Ted Bundy. Give me a break. They made movies about serial killers. They made all kinds of movies. Just make the movie. No need to get on the high horse about freaking movies about murderers and all that. It's our entertainment. We all realize, I don't know, maybe I'm the age that I grew up when my parents taught me that this is a movie, it's fake. This is real life. It's not fake. There's a difference. So when we go see a movie, we kind of expect it to be fake. We want it to be fake. In fact, that's why we can cheer when the bad guy gets shot. And then when we see it in real life, like somebody really, even if it's like the worst person in the world seeing somebody get shot, it's like, oh shit, that's insane. That's horrible. So Pedro says it's because Zac Efron is handsome and Ted Bundy was too. So what? I don't know. Not to get political, but don't listen to the media. They're a bunch of fucking liars. Like the worst thing that happened in the media is that now journalists sit on Twitter and just write stories about whatever idiotic Twitter position someone has. If how much stock you can put into a news article is if they quote Twitter. They quote Twitter, immediately dismiss that article as not credible. It's just like, so it's like somebody on Twitter got upset that Zac Efron is too handsome. Oh yeah, like American Psycho didn't have Christian Bale in it. Oh my god, that movie was, anyhow. Yeah, the media sucks. Like, oh my god, the media is so horrible. Just watch my videos, watch my live streams, watch other people's live streams. That's fine. The media, horrible. Oh my god, so bad. Anyhow, the only movie about killers I'm going to watch is Natural Born Killers, just for the Gonzo cinematography. Okay. Volcano EDM says, "How do I work on a Christopher Nolan movie?" Well, you have to go find out where his movies are being made, and then go talk to his production company and see if you can get a job. Super easy. I'm sure no one else has thought of that. Maybe I should make a movie about Bill Clinton. I don't think I would want to do that. I don't want to end up like a certain somebody. Not to go into conspiracy theory. Derek Roberts says, I have a very dark idea for a 3-movie crossover. I Spit on Your Grave, Deliverance, and Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I will leave now. I think that's probably been done, actually. Boy, I saw the trash and I think this is a filmmaker that's near me, so I'm going to trash a movie. Like, it wasn't called Spit on Your Grave. It was like Run, Bitch, Run. Great movie title. Run, Bitch, Run. Greatest movie title. And it's like made by the people that made like Nude Nuns on the Run or something like that. Run, Bitch, Run. Great title for a movie. Absolutely shitty. Shitty movie. Horrible. So bad. Not even bad as in like, oh, this is funny, as in this is... Look how horribly funny, bad this is, like Red Letter Media, best of the worst style. No, this is like ugly, disgusting. Derek Roberts. Worst part is what I named it. I spit on your bacon. Oh my god, that's a good one. Spit on your bacon. Luca! Hi, Mistress Hess. Long time no see. I'm not Mistress. Mister. Identify. Oh, I did say I identify as Wednesday Addams. So I can see where the confusion comes from. Go to. There you go. What biopic that's never been done needs to be made? William Fox. William Fox. I did a video on him. I'd love to see a biopic made on him. I love. I mean, because I'm Hollywood, I'm biased, right? Errol Flynn would be an awesome. The guy that another biopic would be fun. I mean, Errol Flynn is just a fucking crazy life. What's the name? Movie Bridge Over the River Kwai. Bridge Over the River Kwai. The actor in Bridge Over the River Kwai is also. I mean, I don't know if they make good biopics or not. Setsu Hayakawa. Setsu Hayakawa is a fascinating character. I mean, I'm Asian, so I always look at the Asian characters, but Setsu Hayakawa was like Rudolph Valentino back in the day. He's a Japanese actor, super popular when he was young, super popular. Like he was Rudolph Valentino before Rudolph Valentino, but he was Asian. He was Japanese, you know. Like he was a Japanese sex symbol in 1920. It's crazy. I'd love to see a story by Setsu Hayakawa. Went back to Japan because he was like born in Japan during World War II. He's like, I can't, be against my Japanese fellow. He went back to Japan during World War II. It was crazy. And then, Bridge Over the River Kwai was made after World War II, obviously. So, but they kind of gave him like a second chance. So, anyway, interesting character. What is your first advice for a first-time film director? I'd say start small. Don't hurt yourself. And wear comfortable shoes. That's what Steven Spielberg says. Is there a movie? Beardo says, is there a movie franchise that flipped genre? I have an idea. I don't think so. Dethroner X. What bad movie would you re-edit and with remixing, mastering audio, color grading, and new soundtrack? I would remix. First thing that came to mind when he said that was I would remix Sweeney Todd so you can actually hear the freaking lyrics. Oh, Errol Flynn. Yep, I'm in Hobart, Tasmania, his hometown. I didn't know he was Tasmanian. That's interesting. I don't know much about Errol Flynn. I just know he was a crazy character. I'd love to see more movies about the 20s, like movies that about movies like the Hollywood in the 20s. Because that was crazy times, man. That was so crazy. Because 20s was before the studios became really powerful. So everybody, was making movies, right? And that'd be cool. Who would I cast as William Foss and who would direct? Fincher, knowing his love for cinema? I don't think Fincher would be a good bet for Fox. I would say more. I mean, I would love to see, obviously, the Coen brothers take on William Fox. I would trust the Coen brothers for that. But I mean, I'll direct it. But if it wasn't me, who else would I have directing it? I mean, I don't know. No, I don't know my directors that well. But Coen brothers would be an easy pick. Frank Darabont? I don't know if he'd be interested in that. What's his face? The guy. Oh my god, my brain is already starting to go. It's getting a little late now for me. What's the Jojo Rabbit director? I can just ask you, chat, and you'll probably tell me, but I can look it up. Taika Waititi. How can I forget that? Taika Waititi. That'd be kind of fun. Taika Waititi's take on 1920s filmmaking. I'd be curious to see that. Which very old movie needs a reimagination? Dr. Caligari. I don't think Dr. Caligari needs to be reimagined because there's already enough versions of that out there. What very old movie needs to be reimagined? Maybe I don't know. I don't know. When I was really younger, I was trying to reimagine Breakfast at Tiffany's. I was trying to rewrite that as a modern story set in Las Vegas. And it was kind of based on a girl that I was kind of madly in love with, but didn't work out so well. Tore up a friendship too. Really bad. Sad story. Not gonna go into it this time. Maybe one of my drinking shows we'll talk about it. oh, The Founder is another. Founder's one I want to see. What else would be? Johnny Eck would be possible. Okay. Imagine remixing Kuyansikwatsi. That's that movie with the weird, with the no plot. Sorry, I don't know even how to describe that movie. Yeah, Dr. Caligari. I just don't think it needs a remake or needs to. If it's remade, if you just make another movie in that vein, in that era too. They did reimagine Birth of a Nation. They actually redid that. But it wasn't obviously in even close to the thing. It was what's his face that directed it? Nate Parker, I guess. Oh, Nate Parker directed it. I think he directed it to basically erase the other one out of the. But it's actually the title is Nate Turner, a illiterate slave and preacher in antebellum South, orchestrates an uprising, and it's a black story. So it's from the black perspective. I mean, it's not. I don't think it's at all related to the original, the movie about the Ku Klux Klan that D.W. Griffith. D.W. Griffith is The Birth of a Nation. I think is such. Again, I gotta get canceled again. I don't think it's as evil a movie as people make it out to be. It is a racist movie, and it is a movie that was even seen as racist in 1914 or whatever, 15 when it came out. Like literally, there were people in 1915 like, holy crap, this movie is racist. If you're 1915 and you thought that movie is racist, I think what happened was D.W. Griffith was so unwoke, I guess woke in 1915 terms. He was so like oblivious to the fact that this movie is racist, dude. He's just like, no, this movie is just about like the folks of the South, man. This is about like the people, my friends, my uncles and my. Listen, I'm not hating on black people or no, dude. That's what the movie is. You're Ku Klux Klan. That's what they do, dude. It's like no. He was oblivious to it. He was just so oblivious to it. I mean, obviously, D.W. Griffith was so like a star child at that point. He was so popular that I think he was just oblivious to the fact that it was so racist. That movie was so racist. And he went after after he made. Damn it! What's the name? The one that I reference a lot in my talks too. Intolerance. He made Intolerance after it, So, I think it's trying to clear the record. Like, hey, I'm not trying to be a racist prick. But D.W. Griffith. Intolerance. So that's what I think about the movie. Now, I've never actually seen Birth of a Nation. I don't really, and I'm not jumping. I have no desire to. I know it's historical standing. I don't consider myself that big a film historian to seek it out and watch it. But it's. I mean, I think we can get in a trap if we try to erase history like that. I know a lot of people come on my channel sometimes and say you should never mention D.W. Griffith. Like, no, don't do that. You want to be that's just retarded. Oh, I'm sorry, I shouldn't say that. I'm in trouble for that thing. That's just stupid. Don't do that. They need to remake A Train Enters the Station. Okay, that's what I'm going to do on my. There's a good April Fool's joke. There is I'm going to do John Hess Presents. We're going to remake all of the Lumiere Brothers videos. We're going to do like Film Enter Train Station, Workers leaving a factory. Babies first lunch. Lucas says, I have a non-subscription versions of Adobe Suite products. Features added over time worth updating to a suite. Yes. Yeah, I'm a full-time Adobe user. I use it all the time. Jay says, I laughed real hard when I used the R word. Yes. Yeah, I use Adobe for almost everything, and I pay for Adobe for everything, and I would happily pay for them. It is the reason why I exist. My career exists is because of Adobe, and no, I will not switch over to Resolve. Resolve sucks. It's for editing. It fucking sucks. I hate Resolve. For color grading, sure, it's way better. Oh yeah, for color grading, yeah. I don't know how to color grade with Resolve. I mean, I've just been told it's way better. Okay, and for people that I trust, yes, color grading is way better. Resolve is way better for color grading. Sure. For editing, it sucks balls. I hate Resolve. I hate Resolve editing. Ugh, I hate it. So no, I hate Resolve for editing. Did we talk about Resolve sucking ass for editing? Did we say how shitty Resolve is for editing? What a piece of garbage that software is for editing? Oh, that's right. Did I say it? Oh yeah, I said it. I'm just poking all you guys. Resolve is so much better. You should switch over to Resolve. Resolve is so much better. You should switch over to Resolve. Yeah, whatever. Derek Roberts says that Tom Hanks movie, or Mr. Rogers movie, gave me an idea. What is it about a biopic about the man behind Sesame Street? Yeah, that'd be kind of cool. You know, the interesting about that Mr. Rogers movie, not to talk about frame rate again, but it's amazing how the difference in I think what they did with shutter speed was how different the video of Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood show looked from the actual film. But I think that's from the 360 shutter speed, which is kind of interesting because a lot of people talk about how shutter speed is more important than frame rate, and it kind of is in some ways. But how dramatic you can make that change with the shutter speed. Anyhow, frame rate, yeah. Lucas says, Da Vinci is my jam. All you Da Vinci's. You guys want your Da Vinci. Good Frog Entertainment says, enjoy paying monthly for Adobe. Yeah, I do. Because I enjoy paying for better software. I enjoy paying for stuff that allows me to get my work done. Rather than Resolve, which fights me every fucking tooth of the way. Resolve is shit. God, I hate that program. So yeah, I enjoy paying for stuff that gets my job done, so I can make more money. That's why I love Adobe. I love sticking it to you guys. I love being that odd man out. I know you guys. I love Resolve. I don't like to pay for Adobe. Yeah, sure. I like to make money. That's why I like Adobe. Yeah, I mean, if I didn't make any money, if I were just goofing around, maybe I'd go for the free Resolve. Sure. Which editor you use partially depend on how much you use it and whether you can afford it, and also which editor you use. I mean, let's be serious here. Which editor you use is a matter of habit. Like, I know how to use Adobe. Like, I've been working with Adobe for 25 years. So to me, I breathe the concepts that Adobe has. So when Resolve comes around and changes the way, how you move assets from here to the timeline and how certain things work, it's like I have to rejigger everything in my brain to understand this new workflow. And to me, like, I just want to get this job done. I'd rather just get it done rather than trying to relearn this whole thing. And as far as which one's better, there is no which one, but it's subjective, really, So as long as I can get my job done, that's what's really important. And I just know Adobe. So a lot of people that that are Final Cut folks that will never be able to, will not want to make that jump over. Or Final Cut and Premiere are very, very, very similar. And I know a lot of Avid folks that are lost in Premiere. So it's really what you're familiar with, And for me, Adobe, because Premiere is so great, because I am also very, I mean, if you watch my videos, I'm very versed in After Effects. After Effects is my jam. So the fact that After Effects and Premiere have this literally there's like zero barrier between the two. I just jump from After Effects back and forth. Like that's, if I didn't have that, there's no point. I think Linus Tech Tips did a video on this too. Like he was talking about how, oh, should we switch over to Resolve? Like, no. Like yeah, it has all these great things, but like all our editors use Premiere. All the integration have this Premiere aspect to them. Like there's so many reasons that Premiere it works better, or Adobe works better, and how much it would save him, like literally pennies compared to what it cost. Premiere is a buggy mess, and After Effects is garbage for serious Yeah, right. Good Frog. You're so full of shit. You're an idiot if you think After Effects is garbage for serious compositing work. Whatever. Yeah, fuck off. Dumbass. Premiere has Fusion. Premiere has Fusion. Oh, yay. Premiere has Fusion. Oh, fuck yourself. I know I'm being purposely obtuse, but if you want to escalate this further, I'll kick your ass off of here. But yeah, no, I think Fusion. Come on, like if you think After Effects is garbage, it just shows you have no fucking clue what you're talking about. Like literally zero clue. So anyhow, but I'll maintain that for the time. I'll be courteous and keep you on for a while. Jace Daniel says, here's a visual question. Why do modern movies look so flat compared to movies from the 90s? I watched Seven again. It looks fantastic. It depends on the movie you're watching. Like, what are you watching? Are you watching Mad Max Fury Road? Does that look flat? I don't think so. Like, there's a lot of movies that if you're watching, certain particular genres and styles have a very, like, one thing, if you watch a lot of, what's the name of that? Damn it, show. My brain's going. That show, if you watch Han Solo, Han Solo's got a very flat look to it. What's the name of that movie? That show with, what's his face from Arrested Development? Ozarks. Ozarks is a very, very flat look, but it's also very, very dark. So, like those shows, yeah, that's a style. But if you watch something like, I was looking through Queen's Gambit. Queen's Gambit's got a lot of pop to it. It's got a certain flair to it too, But every era has its, and then every genre has its different looks. So there's lots of stuff. Yeah. Oh yeah, Photoshop has changed a lot in 20 years, Beardo. So yeah, it has changed. Stranger Sounds is true. I like Vegas because it follows the same paradigm as other Sonic Foundry software. Sony. Yep. So yeah, if you grew up on Vegas, you just get used to Vegas. Yeah. No, it says Dethroner X. I use AX After Effects most of the time. Editing sucks there. After Effects is not meant for editing. If you're trying to use After Effects for editing, don't. Just don't. It's not what it's for. Good Frog LOL. Fusion comment was about integrated workflow Resolve has. So built into Resolve, you don't have to constantly switch between different programs. I use Natron for comping. Yeah, so still not After Effects. So, I just want every movie to look like Tank Girl 1995. Hasty Slopsicle. Yeah, Mad Max Fury Road looked pretty. If you look at Mad Max Fury Road, some of the early concept art was very, very like desaturated looks, and they really, really made it pop, more like a Tank Girl kind of thing. Prentice Ryan says, my only gripe with Adobe products is that shortcut keys are completely different across programs sometimes. They can be, but you can always, like reassign them. Stranger Sound, does anybody remember Sonic Foundry? I remember Sonic Foundry. You remember Cool Edit Pro? That became Adobe Audition. They bought that. Jace wants to plug his movie. He's got free to watch on Tubi TV called Tomorrow Maybe. He'd love some feedback. Give him some feedback, folks. Watch his movie. Tomorrow Maybe on Tubi TV. Tokyo Gore Police was cool. Okay. Windows Movie Maker was my shit. You remember Pinnacle? I used Pinnacle at one point. Pinnacle. Wreck-It Ralph has some nice depth in animation movies. Are a rare thing in animation movies where gray characters explored. Yeah, definitely. Prentice remembers Pinnacle. You can't even torrent that anymore. I don't think. Yeah. You ever like what's the one that every once in a while I look for like a screen capture software, and it's Camtasia, right? But Camtasia keeps trying to push their own video editing on you guys now. So if you want the capture card, they want you to buy their video editor. It's like, dude, I have Adobe. I don't need your freaking shitty video editing. It's probably from Pinnacle, probably based on the same software. So some of these older, crappier, not older, but these off-brand video editing software. Yeah, trying to do a precise edit in Windows Movie Maker was killer. Sloppy, tasty slopsicle. I keep wanting to say sloppy tasticle. Grew up on Vegas, and the fact it worked like a doll was very intuitive, attractive as a musician. Yeah, definitely. All right, well, it is 7:35. I've been on here for an hour and a half, so I think I'm running out of energy. I think you guys are getting tired of hearing me rag on Resolve. I'm not going to rag Resolve. You guys use whatever software you can, man. Don't let me rag on your software. I want to get that clear. Like, I don't want you guys to think that I am. Oh, I hate Resolve. I hate Resolve for me. Just stop telling me that I got to change to Resolve. Use your stuff. Yeah, Resolve is great, and high frame rate is the future of cinema. You go out there and you do that shit. Be you. Be you, man. You be you. Anybody else here? Editus Media 100. Remember that Media 100? Oh my God. Ugh. Yeah. So go out there. Yeah, we should start a thing where like every episode of this, we just end, instead of saying, this is the way. High frame rate is the future of cinema. Peace be with you. 24 for life. All right, guys. I'm going to head on out and get some dinner, and we will check you guys out next week, Wednesday. Maybe I'll be doing it from the studio, maybe next week, or from my newly edited studio, we need to get new camera raw options for After Effects. But anyhow, yeah, sometime next week we'll do another stream, and we'll do another hangout, and we'll talk to you guys later. See you guys later. Ciao for now.